Hail, hail to the I, Self Supreme. Hail, hail to all the I and I Self. Much honor. Thanks to I and I for joining. Hail to the I Self, the singular, unified, one, true self. Hail, hail to the I Self, supreme primal light. Hail, hail to the I parent self, shattered, fragmented. Hail, hail to all the I and I selves in alignment to restore balance onto the I self. Hail, hail to all the I and I selves wearing bodies. Much honor. So today I will be talking on false perceptions, what the eye is seeing with these lens is not the real and is not the truth. So the eyes have been deceiving eye, and this is one of the problems why many ones are so stuck. They're having a hard time coming to self-realization because there is a sinister force that is influencing the eye. And I want to make it clearer. This is why I try in so many different ways to explain this so one can get a better understanding. So I want to thank you again for joining I. Um, what are the invisible forces creating this duality world? First of all, I want to ask you, do you know that this world is a duality existence? And what makes it a duality existence? So already the word dual tells us that there's two something that is involved. Duality has to do with two. So there's two forces. One force is bent on creating chaos. The one force is going against the self, going against everything that is for balance, right? Now, the next force, the opposing force, is moving and doing everything for balance. So there's one force that is creating balance, and there's one force that is creating chaos. I want you to understand it. At the root of this existence, these two forces. Now, the force that is creating chaos is for itself. Because one is seeing through the lens of false perception, one is seeing the duality world and thinking that it is the real. So the force that is for balance wants to destroy this duality, right? So one would say, oh, want to destroy this world, meaning that that is the negative force, that is the force that is destructive. But because one is seeing through the false lenses, the false perception. This is the reason why one is thinking that they want this temporary arrangement to be their permanent situation. You are seeing through the lens of false perception. Your real self sleeps and you do not know yourself. Can we agree on this? This is what is causing your confusion because you do not know yourself. You are thinking that this body is you. And so, them who rules the world and governs the world, confusing your mind, controlling your mind. And so, ones are busy fighting over bodies, different kind of body, who did this first, who did what first, and they're not paying attention to the real situation that's happening because they're busy fighting over wanting land, wanting this, wanting that. It's all a confusion to hold the masses into the dream because they know that this force, this invisible force that is restoring balance to its the I self, wants to dissolve this duality creation. One is seeing from far perception because what one do not know is that this duality creation has been a prison. This has been a prison because the I self is inside of this prison and you do not know that you are inside of a prison. Do you really think that anyone can get out of this dome that we're in? No one can get out of this dome, right? This is why I say watch the telescope, what the scientists them saying, and pay attention to what they are saying because no one can get out of this. Yes, they are shooting rockets up into the dome, trying to break it, and that they cannot get out of here. Not even the gods them can get out of this dome. They cannot get out of here because it is a self. The dome is a self. Yeah. So Nut, you hear of Nut, the sky god? Yeah. So every one of the self is playing roles. So all right, for instance, you see this sun here, right? So each of the self is a circle. So let me get a paper. Let me. I want to show you something why no one can get out of here. This is it's a prison, and so because you don't know that you're inside of a prison, all right. This is like here. This is a half, right? This is a circle. This is the dome we're in, right? So everything is water, water. Everything in the creation rise from the water. The land, everything rise from the water. Rise from the water, it comes up. You see the mountains. Know that the mountains, they are also a self. Everything in this duality is a self playing the role, right? The water is also a self. Did you know that? It is the liquid manifestation. Okay? So the water here is a self. Water above this dome that we're in, the gods they cannot get out. This one, with the world that we're in, is being played by an Aten Ra. This is herself is the world, and the duality is herself Rebecca Ra, and um Nut is the sky that goes the dome that here that no one can get out through her, and the earth this here is Geb, and now below it is another self that is Amun Ra. Now this is Aten Ra. Now Aten Ra, this is her other self because she is the baby of the manifest. So this is the next dream that we're in right here. After if you try to get out of this one, you're right here. Then the next one is here, right? And then this is the manifest. And then this is how many layers, right? Goes up to 10 layers. These are each a self, and each one is inside of the other. Yeah, each self becomes the screen. The real self becomes the screen. Its self replica becomes the duality. And so we are not seeing the real. We are only seeing with a false perception. And so this is why the mind is bringing fear, because the mind does not want this duality existence to be dissolved. And so the mind is projected fear. So I want to encourage you to face your fears, because it is that sinister force that is ruling and governing the world, that is bringing fear to you, does not want you to dissolve the ego false self and to return back to being your real self. This sinister force is invisible to the eye, just like yourself that is animating this body is invisible to the eye. You do not know yourself. Yourself is animating this body, and you are sleeping inside of the dream. I just make them circles and show you how many times you are inside of a dream. So, what are the invisible forces creating this duality world? Is all the ionized selves, replicas, and baby selves that is taking and playing the roles of this duality existence. I want to tell you that as you can see in the world, you see that the evil, you see the opposites, you see this. So it's not like you don't see it and you don't know it, but I want you to start paying more attention to see this this duality, to know that, to get a better understanding that this force, this invisible force that has been fighting against you. Did you know that there is an invisible force with negative intent that is manipulating the world with malice and hatred towards the eye? Can you, in your experience, and want to honestly admit that this is real? Can you see the real? Are you just looking to your false perceptions and don't want to admit that this is the real and this is so? Because many like to turn a blind eye and say, "Oh, I only see good." That means that you are not seeing things as they are, because this is a duality world. How can you only see good in a duality world when the majority of it is evil? The majority of this world is evil, and only a small percentage is in balance, is good. So, obviously, you are thinking that the force that is creating the world is the real, and this is the problem. That's why you're stuck. So many ones are stuck on gods, ancestors, deities, and all of these things. And this is what is obstructing your view. This is what is obstructing you and keeping you bind in slavery. Don't you want to be liberated from slavery? For millennia, you have been enslaved inside of this dome. No one can get out of this dome. I don't care what them saying. Watch them scientists, watch what they're saying, pay attention to what they're saying. No one can get out of this dome. Those dualities, the gods, them have been doing this for ages, trying to get out of here. They cannot get out of here either. This is why they are shooting rockets up to break the dome and all of these things, and they cannot break through it. Now they are getting very close, because they're drilling into the earth, disrupting the harmony. But pretty soon they're going to have to stop this foolishness because this earth is going to wake up. I have no idea what is going to happen into this world, how it's going to end. But many ones have been reading stuff they say from the Bible and all of this. I do not know. But I can tell you the vision that I had before I came into true realization. I saw the world being dissolved, everything in this world crumbling and burning. This was my vision that I had. And I was above the world, and I was looking down at this happening. But I was looking, and I kept wondering, this was like years ago when I had this vision. And I said, but how am I going to save the children? Because I've always been working, with young people, great ones, wearing these small human bodies. And so I've been saying, but how am I going to save the children? But then I realized afterwards that, is what I am doing now by going out into the community, meeting young people, and giving them the tools to balance their mind and to bring peace and harmony to themselves, so that they can start self inquiring within themselves, so that they can come to realization of themselves. And so the vision that I had now, so while I am above and I see this destruction happening, um, the whole entire world is being dissolved, it's being um, so I'm looking down on it, and then this sun comes from this direction, and I just see this bright light, and there was like a mirror when I'm looking, and when I turn around, I see the reflection into the mirror of the sun. And then when I turn around to look, there's a hand stretching out from in the center of the sun, reaching out to me and letting me know that it is time for me to leave. And again, this is not speaking in these words, but it's speaking to me, to myself, and I understood what it was saying to me. Um, so it's saying it's time to go now, but I'm saying, but what, but I can't leave the children because I was so concerned about the children. And then this was, after this vision that I realized, how I can help young people, so that I wouldn't feel guilty, within myself that I didn't like share, this truth. This is why I do what I do, because I want to share the truth, because I know it's hard for many one to comprehend this, because that sinister force, that invisible force, it is a part of your experience. This is the reason why you have not figured it out, because it is the mind. As you can see, everything always takes you back to this duality consciousness, this mind. The mind, it is what is causing all of the gods, it is what is creating all of the confusion. The mind is what is doing that. And so the reason why that I have to start practicing, stillness and self inquiry, is just so that the eye can see clearly from the self perspective, and not from the false perception of the mind. Because the mind is the ego, and so what is the difference between all of the duality characters? Because when we grow attached, you come in a family, you know that which is playing your mother, that which is playing your father and your siblings. It's all the I and I selves playing these roles, right? And so I want to clarify the difference between the different dualities that is also affecting um your experience in this duality. And so we have the devil, we have Satan, we have the gods, we have demons, angels, archangels, aliens, the ancestors, monsters, and of course we have human beings. So these are 10 different ways of the duality. You are experiencing the world as the duality. No. What invisible force rules and governs the world? All of these dualities. They are the invisible force that is ruling and governing the world. Okay? Let me say those invisible force again. Some known as the devils, right? The Satan, the gods, demons, angels, archangels, aliens, the ancestors, monsters, human beings. You think human beings they are not the invisible, but they are the visible aspect. But their self that is animating the body is invisible to them. So it is also the invisible force of yourself that is invisible to you that is also governing the world. Do you see what I'm saying? All of these forces is invisible. Yes, it can make itself known, so you can experience yourself in these different aspects of the duality. So I want you to know that all that is hidden will be made known. So if you want truth, you will know truth. If you are a seeker of truth, you have to be able to swallow the bitter truth, because the truth is bitter and it's stranger than fiction. Because the truth is so bitter and stranger than fiction, this is why many ones have a hard time accepting the truth. They say, no, that cannot be the real, that cannot be so, right? All secrets will be revealed. So everything that you want to know about this world, now is a time when it will be revealed. There's going to be full transparency that's going to be happening in the world. Full transparency. No matter what God is hiding, it will be made known. Everything that has been kept in secret will be made known. So now is the time for you to ask questions, and know what? You don't no longer have to be afraid of God. God said, don't question me, I will punish you. If you don't give me your soul, you'll go to hell and all these things. No longer you need to be afraid of God. You can stand up to God. You can stand up to God and you can ask questions. I want you to understand this. Now is the time to do this, because why? The other invisible force that is balancing the world. You have one force that is creating chaos, that has put us in fear, that has imprisoned us, and always wanting to punish us. Why the gods them always want to punish us? Why they always want to punish us? Beating up on us. Have you ever had the experience when one of the gods them beat you up? If you're in a dream or whatever, they used to beat me up all the time. Beat me up, traumatize me all the time. And if they come into your body, if they don't like, if you're eating something that they don't like it too, they beat you up. You know, this is just what they do. They want to dictate everything, because some of the things they don't like when you eat, they don't like garlic, they don't like onions, because I think it purifies the body, it do some purification, and it disturbs their vibration. So they don't like it. And so whenever they come in this body, yes, I eat garlic and I just get some onions because it brings a certain vibration to it that they don't like. So what I'm saying is that the time is now when you can stand up to all of this duality, invisible force that has been programming the mind, that has taken over. Don't be afraid. I am telling you, trust me, don't be afraid because myself, I call to the I Self Supreme because I said justice for the self so that all of the dualities can see and know the evil that they have done because I file a case against all of them because I want for them to see and learn from all of the things, the horrible things that they have influenced humanity in doing. I want it to stop. Stop listening to them. The blood sacrifice, the rape, the sodomy, the sacrificing of little children. It must stop. And the stupid rituals them that you're not doing in the night and all of these things. Stop it. This invisible force that has been taking over you. Stop doing those things now. The age for those things is over. The age for those things is over now. Now it's time for you to take command and don't listen to this crazy mind. All those things your mind is telling you is crazy. These invisible forces, these invisible beings, they are yourself. They are yourself playing these roles. So I want to share another experience when before I came into true self-realization. Every early morning I would have to be up before 3 a.m. and I used to sleep on the floor a lot and like the moon or whatever is happening in the night, like people saying, oh, you see UFO and all of these things are happening, right? So I felt this energy like just beaming into me, like I'm by the window laying down, and I just felt this energy. I open my eyes and I look out the window, and there I see this thing, star or whatever, and then it started expanding, expanding, expanding. So I said, I'm gonna go get my camera. I set up at the window, and I finally get it. It's just, and it's moving like really fast. I get it on my camera and everything. I remember I was showing one person it, and it just completely deleted off my phone. But one of the things that I realized that it was myself that was connecting with me because needed for me to wake up, especially not sleeping at 2 from 2 a.m. to be up, so there's a lot is happening with the consciousness is reprogramming the mind of everyone. So the self is always wanting me to be up. But at that time when people was talking about aliens and flying this and flying saucers, I mean, I did not know like, what exactly this thing was that was, beaming energy into me and like telling me to get up and wake up. But one thing I can tell you is that everyone that is wearing a body, if you are the real self, the soul self, you one of those stars up there, it is your sun. And when you come into true self-realization, your sun follows you everywhere you go and it illuminates in the sky. And so everywhere I would go, I would see this star following me, and it would always be very close to, in proximity to the moon, when the moon and the sun is traveling. Um, and so one day I was saying, why, like the stuff, whenever if I ever, go into any kind of sleep in the night, it would always come and wake me up. Um, and so I did not understand what it was until after, when I met um, Heru Shiva, and Shiva came, and the when the teacher within was, when I was asking, like, why I was having fear of some things, and something that was, um, experience that I was having into this, duality. And so the self was showing me, like a screen, like, like a television screen would come in front of my eyes, and the inside of the sun, it stores all your information, everything that you have ever done from the moment you came into this form, into the um the fragmented form of of the self, and enter into this duality existence. Everything has been in recording. So all the different lifetimes that I have come into, the everything is stored there. And so the self was showing me, like, I said I did not want to experience it. I want to be a witness to it. And so the self, um, just showed me on a screen, like a television screen. So I was watching myself, too many different avatars that I came, and I was still having, like, certain problems and having certain fears of things. And so the self was showing me the trauma that caused it, and it was still into those energy fields of myself. And so the self was erasing them, these traumas. And so this was how the self was showing me, like, from the sun, that was, that I did not know what it was, that it was following, that was my sun, my star, and everyone I've one. And so from it, this is when the self was pulling the information for me and was downloading it, to me here, into this body. And so this was when I understood about everyone having their own sun, and it stores all your information. And I, of course, understood why it was following me, because it wasn't an alien. It was because I came to true self realization, and I was illuminating. So once even them who watches you, they can see my illumination. And so they would be flying over where I was at all the time, and I kept wondering, they scanning and watching you. I remember, um, one time I was in this airport, and this guy was, I could tell that he was intoxicated. So he came over to me wanting to use my phone. I told him that I did not, because at the time I did not have a phone. I have a phone, but I only use for, like, WhatsApp, because I was traveling between, going to Jamaica, here, going to the U.S. Um, so I don't never had a number for a long time. So I was just coming from Jamaica, and so he says to me, "Are you an alien?" He asked me that, if I was an alien. So I said, "Why would you ask me if I am an alien?" He says, "Because you have so much light around you." so so I said, "Yes, I am an alien. That's what they tell me. I am an alien." So I am just sharing that story to say that, you know It is all the I and I cells. So, like I said, when I come to the United States, they call I an alien. So just like this young man, I traveled too, and I was in the airport coming from Jamaica. He was asking me if I was an alien, but I am just saying that all is the I self, the water, the rivers, the mountains, the islands, everything is a self that rise up from the water. Everything rise up from the water. Yeah? Everything. If you take a look and see, you see everything is surrounded by water, right? So everything rises up from the water. It is a self that is playing the role, and it is a self invisible to the eye because it is in duality. It is creating its creation. Every different selves are creating their creation into the dream. They do not want anyone else to come and bother their creation, right? So you ever, as a child, you're playing with Legos or whatever stick, and you're building your house and you're building, and one of your siblings come and just fall into it and just break it down. You know what I'm saying? And you was just like so upset. So this is what is happening right now. All the dualities, just like the human beings, right? They they are building stuff into this duality. They don't want their duality creation to be dissolved, but it has to be dissolved because you don't realize that you are a prisoner inside of a dream, and you have been lost in this prison, immersed in all of the illusions, and you think that it is the real self. Someone is trying to dissolve your illusionary creation. No, you're getting upset and you want to fight against yourself. You think you can win against something that's invisible? The negative force, the invisible force, has been beating us, controlling us for eons. And now the balance to that negative force is here to restore balance to us. You think that you can win against something you cannot see? You can't even see yourself animating this body. Have you seen yourself animating this body? How am I animating this body? Do you know how you are animating the body? So, what they are doing in the world is just crazy because there's nothing that they can do to stop themselves from dissolving this creation now. It is time to move to balance. We've been imprisoned by all of this duality, negative force, right? The devil, the bull, the reptilian is the same being. And who is that? The God that you are praying to. Did you know that? You say, oh, I'm praying to the God that is creating this world. You know who that God is? The reptilian, the devil. Because the mind of Set and Ra is creating this world. They are the world. And within the world, there are many, many different dualities that is creating. Okay, that duality, who's the island? Who's creating all the things on the island? There's a duality, who is the river? There's a duality, who is the mountain? They have been petrified and now they are waking up to restore balance. But before we get there, all the ionizing false perceptions, and the I don't want to see things as they are. So this is the reason why the I self is not listening to what you are saying, because you have been a prisoner, and only one knows of this is the real self. You know what the real self is? The soul. The soul knows. The soul has been suffering and calling out to the I self supreme to come and rescue me. Come and rescue me. Rescue me But here you are building in the duality. You have your mansion, you have all your clothes, your this, your jewelry, all your wealth. And you what's with your soul? Your soul has been imprisoned inside of a dream. And you want to stay here because what? That invisible force, the duality, has convinced you that it can keep your body for eternity, for immortality, where it will enslave you and you can be holding on to this body. Don't you see the idiocy of that? This is crazy. So, I want you to understand that your eyes that you see with, okay, like growing up in the island, there must be something here. Okay, growing up in the island, we used to see this a lot. You're in the country, you see a banana tree. Because you know, when you're young, they're giving you duppy stories, right? What they call duppy in American, it would be spirits. When one passed away, when they're no longer into the body, and they call them duppy in Jamaica. So they will tell you, they put fear into you, duppy is coming to get you, and all these things. So they have been using fear to control us forever, right? So you're walking, no, you see a banana tree, hands spread out and all this. Right away you become fearful because why? You, with your false perception, you cannot see the banana tree. You see the shadow that's reflecting, and it looked like a monster coming to get you. It's no monster. It's just a banana tree, but you don't know that, and you are terrified. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes you're driving, and in the night when it's getting dark, and you're driving on a road, and it seems like you're gonna go off into the clouds or something. The road seems like the road is ending and going like up like this, you know, and it's that false perception that you are experiencing, but you know that the road is there, but at the moment you don't see it. It's just an illusion now presents itself. This is how this world is that we are in. We're literally inside of the mind of Ra and Set. We are inside of her mind. Her mind is creating all of this, and this dome is her womb, her belly. We are inside of her belly. You ever seen a baby inside of his mother's belly, right? It's sleeping, have no awareness, right? So it being entranced in the dream, taking up the time. This is the same exact way that all of us into this, we are inside of the belly. The same thing. You have never seen your mother's face. When you're inside of her, the as a human being into the belly, you have never seen your mother's face. You don't even know you're inside of a womb. And you yourself cannot come out until the right time for you um, to be born into the duality, right? You cannot know this. You're sleeping, you're in dream state. The same thing right now. The eye is sleeping, the eye is in dream state. The eye does not know this. Inside of the dome, inside of the belly of the eye mother, and being deceived by the invisible force that is creating the dream, creating everything inside, and all of the other cells wearing human bodies that is also creating inside of the belly of the eye mother. False perception. The eye is not seeing with the real. So, because this is a false perception, you cannot trust anyone. Everyone is a potential. enemy. And for myself, even more so. Everyone is a potential enemy for I. I am not safe here. You know what I'm saying? Because all of the dream characters, they see me, they see my light, they know where I'm at. They're coming at me full force. So it is only that the I Self Supreme is merged with the I and in alignment with I that I am victorious and I am triumphant over this duality existence, this duality creation, all of these duality characters, right? So I want to say that what is the difference between all of the different characters? It is about the mental state. That is what is the difference. So take for instance the biggest, the bull, the reptilian, the bad of all the baddest, because that's what he says. He's the bad of all the baddest. And Set. But he's no longer known as Set because he plays the devil, the bull, the reptilian, right? When I saw him, I mean, the scary looking. I didn't see his face. I just saw his body and his claws. You know, like two finger. That's why you see them doing these things here because it's the reptilian. So they all know that they are. Watch them when you see them making these signs. Because I used to be wondering what is that until I saw him with his claws like these. Because all of them they were the dinosaurs. Yeah, they were before human beings. They were the dinosaurs. The and of course we explore as the omnivores, um the herbivores, and they were the carnivores, those big dinosaurs creature. Yeah. So so know that, you know, all of these things is the truth. And so Seth is the great reptilian god that is managing, governing this duality existence. Because it is his mind called the Christ consciousness, it is the one that everyone into this world is praying to and want to reach higher level of consciousness. I'm telling you, this consciousness is the greatest deception. I don't know how many times I can say this, that do not try to get to no levels of no consciousness. You want this consciousness to be pulled off of you because it is, you completely do not want this consciousness, but you are inside of the dream. So this is what you are using while you're in the dream. So when you wake up, the consciousness gets pulled off of you. So this is how you get to be yourself, but and just use the consciousness when you have to. Satan is called the Ram, and that is thought. So know that thought is no longer playing the role of thought, the great scribe anymore. He has, his mind has gone corrupted, and he has been playing the role of Satan. And when I met him, he was very, very wild and finicky. Oh my goodness. He's just slippery. When the self is trying to get him and hold him, he's running all over and he is just slippery like this. They cannot hold him. Snake. Yeah, and so the difference between them, I am telling you of the role they are playing. Seth is the mind with the one with the mind with the craziest mental state. And I want you to remember that who is this devil? It is you. You are playing this role. If you come into self realization, it means that all is me. I am playing all of these characters. And why am I playing this character? Because I went to sleep. I wanted to create a world inside of my imagination, but did not anticipate that my mind was going to go crazy. My mind went crazy, separated from me, and said, I am more powerful than you. This is what the mind is saying to the self. The mind says, I am more powerful than you. You're going to stay sleeping. You will never wake up, and I will be the ruler. Everyone, I am the all, and everyone will serve me. The mind took over. I want you to understand this. The mind took over the self and then trance itself in a dream. The self did not wake up. So Set is real self, that is called Set, is sleeping. Who rise up? A false self. The mind created a false self called the ego false self. This is the role that Set is playing. The devil. Because the mind got so crazy. So Set created new bodies, right? Yeah? Set created new bodies and say, I am your creator. I am the Lord your God. Do not worship any other gods before me. Right? This is the same God that you are calling on is the same devil. I want you to understand this. It is yourself that is in the duality with the sickest of all the mind. Why is this so? Because Seth and Ra, they are the one that was given the duality mind. And what Ra does, she makes a replica and she gives to everyone that wants to enter into her dream creation. So here you are, you're the self, you created this dream or created this Disneyland like that. I created this fantasy land, right? No, you make many replicas of yourself. No, all of them want to say, "Oh, that looks beautiful. I want to experience it." Because what? Have you ever had any awareness of your existence of yourself? You've never had any awareness at any time of yourself having an existence. So if you come into existence, you're like, "Ooh, I want to experience that. What is it?" You write out your destiny, what role you are going to play. You're going to be one of the characters, what family, what all of these things, right? Now, before you can enter into Ra's creation and put what you decide that you want to also create into this creation, you have to sign a contract and she has to give you a replica of this duality mind, the one that she is using to create the dream. She gives you a copy of it in a baby form. You took it, you put it on, you now you have a mask, and now you have a costume on. Now you no longer remember yourself. You are in the stream, and now you have been creating and coming and going back and forth between the two dream world, the visible and the invisible one. You're in the visible world, you're in a body, you see all your visible things that you have created. You're in the invisible world, the things created there are not tangible because there is no light to hold the form. There is not enough of the light to make the form stay, right? So this is what is happening. So that which you are worshiping and you are calling God is the same devil. I want you to understand this. Satan. Satan now, remember I'm talking about the difference between of these duality characters. Satan is the not even a big of a self as the devil which is said, but is the baby self of Allah. Allah is Tehudi. So the devil and Satan, they are parent partners. They roam together, they do all the evil things together, And of course, they have their minions, many other little gods that do lots of evil with them. But Set, the devil, is the one that is over them and fighting them, beating them up. If they, he loves to beat people up, loves to fight if you don't do what they want. This is how these invisible forces control the minds of human beings and influence them to do wrong things. Stop calling on them because you're calling on God. This is who you're calling. Now it's feminine self. Set feminine self is Ra. When during the day she's awake, in the night is the worst time to call on her. This now she's no longer awake. She sleeps. Now the consciousness takes over. Remember, I said the consciousness has gone crazy. Even Ra, she cannot even control her mind. Even in the day, when she's awake, she tells me, I cannot control my mind. My mind is rebellious and wayward, and it's always fighting to keep me to go into sleep. This is what her mind is doing. So if she cannot control her own mind, she gives you a piece of it. You think that you're going to be able to control it? No, but you can cultivate it. You can balance it. You can bring purity to it. And you can train it the way that you want it to be. This is the power that you have. Otherwise, if you try to control it, it will only put up resistance. But you can trick it into doing things how you want it to do by doing the vibration, calling into the I self, the teacher within to rise, to pull it off of you, so you're no longer in the ego false self, but you are being yourself, but you still have this crazy mind, and you know your mind is crazy. So now the other aspect of the duality, the invisible that is governing the world and influencing you, are the other ones known as the gods. So I am saying all of these dualities, they are playing different roles. That's why they are known differently. The gods covered a wide range of them. The gods are the ones, they they're not so crazy in their mind. Some of them are not. Some of them have crazy mind, and they Set is training them. They're following what Set is doing, enslaving souls. Um, and I think most of them, I think the majority of them is known as the gods. All of them, they're just known as the gods. That is just a name, just like how I say the dualities, and it cover all of them. The gods cover all of them. But the difference between the different aspect of them is how crazy their mind is. So all of the crazy gods, they hang out with in what Set has created in the invisible world called the hell. So where all the ones that may do the terrible bad things like all the blood sacrifices and the the all of the gods them do rape and sodomy, but some of them are alcoholic. They love alcoholic beverage. Some of them just obsessed. Their madness is sex. They're just obsessed with sex. That is their madness. While and some just obsessed with blood sacrifices. They want to see killing all the time. They want to see blood, right? Like Set, and some of the other gods them. So they have different things that they habitual for them. Now and these all of these ones, they are the real, the one that's the real selves that becomes sleeping and becomes a duality, and they are the one that is very black. Now the angels, they are the ones that rise from the dream, and they are usually white. The and so their mind is not messed up like like these gods, because um they're in a different crew. They are sneaky. So like the angels, they're sneaky. They are stealing your soul just the same, but then they pretend to be your friend. You call them, you want them to do something for you, and like this. There's nothing ever free with any of these invisible beings. Nothing is ever free. If they do something for you, they want your soul and they want you to do something. Yeah? So don't call on them. Um so all of the gods, including Krishna, Hare Krishna, whatever, Allah, Jesus, um Ogun, Oshun, I mean those ones are classified in as the ancestors. So no, the archangels um are their mindset is a little bit more balanced than the gods them, and Set. And Set, the archangels, the reason why they have more, they have a little awareness. They are still sleeping, dreaming, but they have a little awareness, and so they becomes the friends of the human beings, in terms of, like, if Set is coming on you, and you and someone send a demons on you, because this is all they do. This is a spiritual war that's been going on. Human beings are going to, you know calling on all of these things to go fight war. They want you to do something, they just come and send one on you. They come take over you. So you want to get them off. You call Archangel Michael, or Archangel Gabriel. You call Enoch. Um, any other one, them call the ancestors. You call them whichever one you make alliance with, and they come and they take them off of you. And those ones were like Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel. Those were the ones them that was doing that a lot. And I find that their mind wasn't as crazy as the rest of them. And then the ones called the aliens are also the dream characters that rise in the dream, and they themselves are not the real self, but they too are white. The Pleiadians, the 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 Galactic Federations, all of them, those beings, they are also, because they are devoid of light, and the light is the thing that gives everything its blackness. And monsters now, and some demons are again the reptilians, and some of them that their mind just becomes so crazy. And also for the human beings who have left the body and they become demons, because you live a horrible life when you're here, you're doing a lot of bad things to others. Then when you get out of the body, you become a demon. You're whoever you are around, you know family members or people, they come, they go to your grave, they're calling you to come and go do horrible things to others, taking over their bodies. And this craziness, I mean, like, when will it stop? I don't understand, like, why everyone wants to keep doing this. When will this craziness stop? Because you have the power in your hands right now as the human beings to stop calling on God. Take your power back from them. Why are you giving them all your power? They have been holding us inside of this prison. Don't you want to be liberated and free? Don't you want your freedom, your liberation from prison? You have no idea what will be the next creation. If the eye can create this beautiful world in a dream, What do you think that I can create in a real? There's no need to want to hold on to this existence. And every they have programmed your mind into false perception that you think your real self that is coming to save you right now, that is coming to dissolve this craziness. You are afraid of your real self. The I self supreme is here right now. The I self supreme. Remember, I showed you these layers of the self. The self that's the last, the first and the last self. The self that creates all of this is here, is merging, and this is how the self merge. They merge from here, and each self is merging, merging, merging like that. The self is here. Don't let them put fear in you. Don't let this mind put fear in you to fear yourself. Yourself is here to liberate you. They cannot get out of this dome. I don't care what they tell you. Watch and listen to what they are saying. No one can get out. All of the gods, them, all of these dualities, they have been trying. This is why they're using the human beings to send rockets to break it. They even themselves can't get out of this duality. They cannot get out of this duality. It is a dream creation. The self that is creating it is sleeping and dreaming. All of the gods, them, are sleeping and dreaming. Stop trusting gods and trust yourself. The time is now to do this. Full transparency. The self, the I self supreme, is here for full transparency. Everything, every secret that they have been keeping from us will be made known. And know this, all the ones who are trying to deceive others, and you think that you can deceive me, you cannot harm me and you cannot deceive me. Okay? Because I am protected and nothing can harm me. The self will not allow anything to harm me. So, no matter what you are thinking, it is just not going to happen. False perception. The I is having a false perception right now. This ego's perception is not the real. I want you to pay attention. Pay attention to everything, right? Ask question of the I self. Because when you ask the question, it motivates the I self to rise up to answer the I. The I have been in stillness, in a stillness meditation. How to see things as they are. How can you do this? How can you move from this ego's perception to see the real, to see things as they are? Because why are you afraid? If you know yourself and you're confident in yourself, would you be afraid? Because you would know that, oh, it is it is myself that is here to balance the world. They want you to think that this world being dissolved is the wrong thing. Don't Everything that has been created must be destroyed because you have been enslaved in a dream. You think the body is you. You think this mind is you. You want to stay forever in enslaved in a dream inside of a body. You are so vast, but you want to stay enslaved in a dream forever. Don't you see what they have programmed your mind into? All of this illusion. The mind is delusional. It's making up stories, and everyone is following. You see them. They have millions of followers following them into a ditch. Why? Because it also shows you that people are seeking, but when they come upon the truth, they resist. Why you resist? Because of this mind. Your mind is saying, no, that cannot be so. Because they do not know that the body is not themselves, that their real self is invisible to them. So the invisible aspect of the self that is governing the world, they have not come into alignment with it. So it's only the things that you're seeing with your false perception you believe that is real. Oh, if I don't see it, it's not real. Like seriously, the invisible rule this world. The invisible govern this world. You you put some banana peel, some fruit scrappings, you just leave it on the table for a couple hours. Are you in the kitchen and working, and all of a sudden when you look, you see flies? Where did that come from? Where did the fly come from? Did you make it happen? The invisible forces are ruling and governing this world. So what is it that you're saying that you don't believe? What don't you believe? I want to know, what don't you believe? You are seeing through false perceptions. The time is now to see through the real, see it to the eyes of the real. The eyes, you know what's the real? Yourself, the soul that has been a witness to everything that has happened. Everything that has happened to you that you have forgotten and is wiped out. Yourself, real self called the soul, bear witness to it and can testify of this. So all you have to do is to just be yourself. Return to being yourself. Your soul will make known to you all that it has witnessed from this ego, the supreme ego, and all of the ego dream characters known in the world as the dualities, known in the world as the gods, the angels, the archangels, devil, Satan, demons, whatever name they call themselves, the ancestors. So, for many ones who are like locked into the false perception of the ancestors, did you know that many of those ones that you are worshiping as the ancestors, they are you in the body right now? You have come, you never figured it out when you came. No, you have returned in a body. You are looking at yourself from the past and you're still not figuring it out that it is your mind that is doing this and deceiving you. You still not figuring out that no, you are now worshiping yourself that never figured it out. And when I say, hey, that is you, why don't you find out what all the characters you play, then you can see what I am saying. Then when you find out the character, oh, that was me. So if I'm there playing that character and I am in this past, and now I am here and I am still bringing my awareness back into the past again. I am not being in the present to figure out the situation. No, I am still stuck into my past character, my past avatar that I came as. This is why this I was never stuck into the ego, because I was never looking into these characters. Even now, I don't know a lot of things. I came as many characters and I still don't know a lot about them, because the self would have to bring me back into my star so that it can download the information for me and show me a screen in front of my face so I can see, all the different things. But no, it's not the time to do it. There's a battle going on. There's a battle. There's a war going on right now between the mind, the ego, and itself. And all of it is being outplayed by all of the duality characters, the human beings. You want to blame others, but you don't want to take responsibility. The ego has taken command and control of you, and you are the one that is doing harm to yourself, to all your other selves, and to yourself that is here to rescue you. Because why? You are sleeping, dreaming, have no self awareness, do not know yourself. Yourself is invisible to you, and all the invisible aspect of yourself that you are interacting with is under false perception and is deceiving you. They are tricksters. And so all I'm trying to say is the time is now when I need to denounce all ties to all these dream characters. So I am going to put this up on the screen right now. I denounce all ties. You want to denounce all ties to all of these dream characters. Yeah, that has come as the I self. So give me 1 second. Let me um put this put it up here. The I is an attachment to all of these dream characters. You know, you have to denounce all ties because it is the reason why the I is not moving forward because you have ties to this dream. Remember, I don't know if you have ever seen in Mexico, that's a culture that still does this, and in India, it's a culture that still does this. I am not familiar with an African culture if they still do this, but once can let me know. So you can make an elaborate sand art, and because I see them do it a lot when I was traveling to Mexico, and then you it's to remind you that nothing is permanent. So you make sand art, and then they're doing a ceremony, and then you dissolve it. You spend so much time to create this art, not on a canvas where you can look at it. No, you to with sand, so you can dissolve it and have no attachment to it. The eyes is having all attachment to all of these dream things and dream characters, and and thinking that it is the real because I seen from false perception. And so it is the reason why I have to denounce all ties. So I want you to make this your meditation for the next 8 days. The reason why I do positive numbers um, is because of the balance of it. So the two forces, that is the invisible force, is also split into the numbers. The dualities, they do the odd numbers, and for the balance self, it is the even numbers. And so this is the reason why I do the number 8, um, because it's shifting from the duality to non-duality to um, to moving up with the infinite aspect of the I self. All right, so that's why I do that. And so you can sit, you can say this thing 8 times, and then when you're done, you say the affirmation. So we're gonna do an aspect of it, and you want to make this your meditation for the next 8 days, eight, eight or more days. So at the end of this, you can say, oh, or awesome. So this vibration is very, very good to seal this affirmation into the I self. So you can see the screen. We will do this together. Are you ready? So I denounce all ties. I free myself from all ties and bondage. I revoke all contracts that binds me in any way or form. I denounce all rivalry. My truth and freedom is all that I need. I claim my liberation, free from this hypnosis, all slavery and oppression, all mind control, free from all tyranny, free from all psychic attack and all manipulation. I claim my sovereignty. Mind, this ego has no power over me. I am sovereign being. I revoke all your rights to act on my behalf. I annul all contracts between you and I. I have no relations, no teacher, no preacher, no deities, no gurus, no gods, no mother, no father, no sister, brother, family, friends, no husband, no wife, no lover, no ancestors, no children. All is me. All is myself. All is the self. I, the self alone exists, indivisible, non dual, formless, timeless, limitless, boundless. I am the ultimate truth. I am the ultimate reality. I am the eternal truth. I am the eternal self. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I am liberated. I am free. Okay, let me put this up on the screen for you guys. We're going to do it one more time and so you can see it. I am free. All is I. I alone exist. I alone exist. So, what is real? Only the self is real. The self came into being, into non duality, and entered the dream. The self can exit the dream back into the real. All of the ego false self cannot exit this dream. No one can get out of this dream. You cannot get out of this dome. You are sealed inside here until the I Self Supreme comes to gather all of itself. I know many are saying there's going to be a rapture. No one is going to be left behind. So the church, they like to put fear in ones because they want you to give your soul to some duality dream character. No one will be left behind. The I Self Supreme is coming to get all of itself. Who are afraid? The ego false self. Because they cannot exist. The self cannot put the ego false self onto itself. Only the real self. So the ego false self has to be dissolved. And this body cannot go into the self. You're formless, timeless, limitless, boundless. Where you want to take this body to go? In the non-duality, you won't need this body because you're not going to be existing as this body. Do I know what it will be? No, I don't know what it will be, but I have a vision, where I saw myself, but it was a coil of like a copper coil inside of the head. So instead of having a flesh, the you are producing your own electricity, so you don't need to eat food because you have creating the body is going to create its own electricity. So because everything is about light, and if you're creating your own electricity, you don't need food. So it's a new form of a body. So where you want to be stuck into this body for? You know what I'm saying? So you don't know what is next. So why you want to hold on to this dream? What, believe me, what is next is way better than anything that this duality mind can ever conceive. This mind cannot conceive the real. So this is why it is afraid. It is afraid because it is inside of a dream and it does not know the real. It is limited. Yeah? What's not real? Anything that was created inside of this dream is not real. The ego can only rise in the dream. The ego cannot exit the dream to go into the real. God cannot go into the real. God have to be dissolved to return back to its real self. Know this truth. The devil cannot go into the real. The devil has to be dissolved to return back onto the real. Everything that is being created inside of this dream must return back onto the I self, supreme. Not one aspect of the self will be lost. Do not let this mind confuse you and let them put fear in you that you're going to burn in hell and the rapture is coming to take, Jesus is coming to take this, and only if this is lie. This is all a lies. You just have to come into self-awareness to experience it with awareness. They are not going to have any awareness about it. But if you come into awareness, you're going to have awareness to experience when all of this is happening. What an exciting moment this is going to be, right? So, we will do this one more time. So, you say it with me. And then we will do the awesome hum, right? So, I denounce all ties, because what I am saying, I want you to take this and make it for your meditation every moment of the day. Memorize it so you're always saying it. Take a sheet of paper, write it out in your own handwriting, and manifest it into your beingness. I denounce all ties. I free myself from all ties and bondage. I revoke all contracts that binds me in any way or form. I denounce all rivalry. My truth and liberation is all that I need. I claim my liberation. Sorry. I claim my liberation, free from this hypnosis, all slavery and oppression, all mind control, free from all tyranny, free from all psychic attack and all manipulations. I claim my sovereignty. Mind has no power over me. I am sovereign being. I revoke all your rights to act on my behalf. I annul all contract between you and I. I have no relations, no teacher, no preacher, no deities, no gurus, no gods, no mother, no father, no sister, no brother, no family, no friends, no husband, no wife, no lovers, no children, no ancestors. All is myself. I want you to say this again. All is myself. All is the self. I The self alone exists, indivisible, non dual, formless, timeless, limitless, boundless. I am the ultimate truth. I am the ultimate reality. I am the eternal truth. I am the eternal self. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I am liberated from this dream. I am free. All is I. I alone exist. I alone exist. Now, I want to thank you very much for joining I. Make this the I meditation and let me know how it is for you, how it so right now I am going to say see you until the next video. If you have a question, I can bring up the screen. Hold on 1 second. Um, I can bring up the screen if you want to ask me a question while I am here. So I am going to try to make sure that the same time every Sunday that I am making a live video. So also on when you finish with the affirmation, you want to seal the affirmation with the vibration so we can actually do this the also hum together. Awesome. So so you can you always want to and as you can maybe an hour of doing it, 2 hours, I know 4 times a day. You can split it up as often when you're driving your car. You are saying this affirmation. You know, you want to make this so this denouncing ties to this world, to all the dream characters that have been holding the I into slavery. So so that way you can just take back your power. So does anyone want to ask the I any question? Does does anyone have a question? If you have a question, anything that you would want to ask, I can answer. So just pay attention to all the things that's going to be revealed in the world. Because all the things that they have hidden, they can no longer hide it. All the secret they have been keeping, all the evil that they have been doing, everything is going to be made known. So you want to denounce ties to all of these stuff and just take command and just do the right and balanced thing for you so that you can finally be liberated. So, so if no one has any questions or want to share something, you can type it. If you would like to join me next week on the live video, we can also do that. So you can let me know how has your journey been for you. You you are welcome. How has your journey been for you? Have you been practicing stillness? Has the techniques been working for you? Yes, it is a lonely path. That's right. But I am here. So all the ones like us, we can create the support for each other. And I am always here. So you can reach out to me whenever you like. The ego wants us to be alone so that it can confuse us and so we don't have confidence in ourselves. That's why we, no matter when the ego wants us to be isolated, sometimes it's good sometimes to vibe with others, doing the affirmations and the announcements, you know, because when more ones come together, we have a more powerful strength and a more powerful force to encourage each other, you know, on the path, and to remind each other that it is the mind that is always causing conflict within us. And also, I can do like one on one with anyone who wants to. Like if you want to do the vibrations and go over the techniques, yeah, I am also available to do that with ones too if anyone wants. like live on a video. Does anyone else have question? Want to share? No. All right. So you can give me a thumbs up because I am. If you are good, just give me a thumbs up because this way I can close the live if no one wants to, if so I can know that someone is not typing trying to say something, to share something. All right. So what I will do now then, I will, for 10 minutes, I will play a video for stillness. Um, so let me find the video. Okay, it is here. So so we will close out with this 10-minute video for stillness. So remember to pull the mind out of the head and bring it into the center of the chest. And remember to practice this affirmation that I denounce all times. Ready? Welcome. Please sit in a lotus position. Close your eyes and visualize a sacred circle around you. I want you to visualize like the light as bright as the sun. Visualize your sun encircling you, and you are safe, you are still, and you are calm. Inside your sacred circle, it is just you and you alone. In stillness, it is about quieting the mind so that we can listen to our inner truth, our inner self, our inner intelligence, our inner wisdom, our inner teacher. I am stillness. I am awake, alert, attentive, and aware. I am stillness without thoughts. I want to thank the I so much for your presence, and I will see you next week for the next satsang with Asif. I will be putting a link, so if anyone wants to join me for sunrise meditation. All right. Thank you so much. I am Primal Light, prepared for this dream duality existence in this form, wearing this body, in this avatar as Aset, Aten Ra. I play the role of the liberator and I advocate for all selves. This is why I am here. Like I shared with you my vision, I saw the world being destroyed because this is what is going to happen, and we must not hold any attachment to this dream existence because we have to move from this prison and return to non duality. We are inside of a prison, and so denounce all attachment to this prison so that the I can finally leave this prison. Alrighty, thank you so much. Much honor.